The mailman isn't even here, so I should be pretty good.
Hi, Mikitas. Hello, everyone. I'm Miki, your company man, VTuber with his head in the clouds. We're always flying planes. We are not flying planes today. We are talking about them, and I am joined by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Jibber VT. I'm a dog that's also made out of dogs.
And I see, Joe, you're complaining about the ads. Sorry, I run pre-roll ads as we're setting up because, or not pre-roll, I run ads during stream startup because 3 minutes of ads means that no one gets pre-rolls. And you can, if you don't like it, you can just not watch the first 3 minutes and then pop in and you won't have pre-rolls. It's great. I highly advise doing that. If you are in my stream at like 3 minutes, you probably won't miss anything because I run 3 minutes of ads and it takes like 10-15 seconds for it to start up and everything. So that's the meta strat. I don't care about ad revenue. I make hardly anything with it. So if you guys skip the ads or have a way to work around it, I do not care. It's not a problem. I just do it so that pre-rolls aren't a thing because they're annoying to everybody. But welcome back to Strike Talkshow number 12. Heatblur, please stop releasing updates on a Sunday.
Yeah, this is like Chick-fil-A close day. Nothing's supposed to happen on Sundays.
Yeah. Like, are they really having their PR guys write shit up so that they can release it on a Sunday? Release it on a Friday, please.
Well, think about it. It's 11 o'clock, right? So maybe they're releasing it because they aren't on their way to Chick-fil-A for lunch break. That's a theory right there.
But we'll
damn it, now I want to grab Chick-fil-A and it's a Sunday. Fuck.
Yeah, you always want Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
It's the bigot chicken that makes it taste so good.
When we get hurricanes, they open Chick-fil-A on Sundays.
Oh boy.
We need another one of those.
All right. Well, let's get started off. Before we jump into the news, I am gonna just say that, yeah, we know ongoing conflict between Razbom and ED. Razbom threatened to halt all work on modules for DCS, but it sounds like they're working things out now. That's about as far as I really want to get into it here until we have the full story. So please refrain from commenting about it in chat because people are getting really defensive of different sides without the full story.
It's Soji over for the MiG-23.
Oh no.
Which is fine because it makes Ligma angry.
All right, next up, we have DCS Afghanistan. It went live for pre-purchase at 30% off. That's about as far as I read there. How about you? Have you read anything about Afghanistan?
It seems like a pretty solid deal, like for the price they're offering it at on sale, considering you get like 3 of like Persian Gulf has 1 high fidelity area, considering you get 3 of those with that. It's pretty. Yeah. It's a pretty solid deal, honestly.
Yeah, I was worried with Afghanistan at first because they initially announced like, oh yeah, we're releasing the left half of it, which is like the most boring part of it, terrain wise. Like we already have that. And I was worried that they're going to be like, oh yeah, we want $60 for each part.
Yeah, for each part.
But now that they've announced further, it's a lot better.
Yeah, and it's honestly a really good deal at that point. Like that's actually like a lot of high fidelity terrain for not a lot of money. Very cool.
What do you want to bet on how awful it'll perform?
Well, it's DCS, it'll always perform awful.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It at least will look pretty, but still somehow not quite as good as Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Such is life. They don't have Microsoft budget.
I love how all the time it always hogs all of my RAM no matter what.
Oh yeah.
It just eats more and more RAM. The more RAM you have, the more
beautiful how it does that.
Yeah,
I like how it causes issues with other programs, making them suddenly eat more resources than they need.
Yeah. My favorite is like that, like you can, you have the smart people at Microsoft will go ahead and be like, wait a minute, it shouldn't do that, and cut off its RAM access to more than what so it doesn't take more than what it needs. But here at ED, we just were like, eat it all. It doesn't matter because 128 gigs of RAM in this PC.
Oh boy.
Have at it.
Anime Guy, thank you for the raid.
Hello, anime guy.
Welcome to our talk show where we talk about random flight stuff. Our tagline, I forgot to tweet that we were live. Fuck me.
We also, oops. I forgot to ping my Discord that we're live. Not that I have any viewers that aren't just your viewers to begin with.
But our tagline is, if it flies, we might cover it.
Yeah. Even if it's not intended to fly.
Yeah, we are going to start covering things that fly when they're not supposed to.
Yeah. Oh, we missed an opportunity. Did we cover those trains that flew off the bridge into the river?
No.
Oh, that was a missed opportunity then. We'll remember that for later. Norfolk Southern's bound to do it again.
I mean, it's the U.S. trains. It happens on a regular basis multiple times a year, so we'll have another chance to cover it.
Military-grade equipment in the background. Who's doing homegrown terrorists in the form of Division 2. Oh, nice.
Yeah, we've got the F4 Phantom in the background because Heatblur was fantastic, and about 45 minutes ago released a video on the F4 Phantom, so now we have to cover that with no time. Thanks.
Yeah, we were considering a few other backgrounds, including a Waffle House parking lot, but we'll save that one for later.
Yeah. All right, next news story. ED in their newsletter this week talked a lot about the GPS and INS for the F-16, although if you read through it all, they don't make any comments about what they're actually doing with it. They just talk about how the systems work, and they don't say that, like, oh, the sim is going to simulate this or any of that. It's just, here's all this stuff. So it's a little... I wonder what they're going for with that.
Why are the AIM-120s on the outer rails and the AIM-9 on the inner rail?
I think that's pretty standard. Like you often see
closer to the center of gravity or center.
Yeah, but there's some reason why they do it that way. I don't like. You tend to see USAF loadouts with the 120s on stations. I'm not even gonna bother trying to remember, but you tend to see them on those stations instead of the inner ones. And it's not just the wingtip ones. Flutter. Oh yeah, I guess it would make sense. Having it further out would reduce flutter as well. Technically, you get less drag having the 120 closer in though.
Yeah. I'm not an engineer. I'm just a former pilot that doesn't fly anymore. Grounded forever outside of simulators and art. Thankfully, me being a dog, they didn't just take me out back behind the barn and shoot me. That was pretty cool for them to not do that.
No, it's the ATF that does that.
Yeah.
Next up, the Kiowa got a cool video released about it. It was a short YouTube video. It kind of looked like a final release video, but it wasn't. So
yeah,
go check out Polychop's video on that. It's pretty cool, pretty exciting.
Remember, we still haven't hit 3.0 yet, so technically it's still Kiowa in 2.9.
Yep, still coming in 2.9, according to Airshow D. You can quote him on that.
Yeah.
Until Big Nui tells him to shut the fuck up again.
You know, Big Nui should stop telling him to shut the fuck up. He's still right.
Yeah. Next up, moderately cold off the press from Reddit.
Lukewarm.
The DCS A6E mod has been revived. I don't know the full history of this outside of what one guy said on Reddit, but one of the developers of the A6E mod released a few pictures on the Hoggit subreddit showing the external model of the A6E. He said that Away Venus 7 said the mod changed hands and they're working on further fixes and expansion into multi-crew. Apparently it also works for cat shots currently. So like it's the mod is in a flyable state but not released. They want to expand into multi-crew, however they are currently waiting on internal textures to move forward. And the natural question is, why when there's an A6 actual module in the works, and the guy said, well, it's fun.
Fair enough. If you're having a good time. I was about to ask you that question because why?
Yeah, he got asked why, and he's like, it's at least 2 years out, and this is fun, so why not?
Yeah, that sounds rather simple. Just, I don't think it's 2 years out, but,
They said like at least 2 years out.
Oh, the mod or the
actual module?
Oh, okay. That's surprising. I thought it would have been less than that. So I guess we're getting probably Typhoon before Intruder.
Everyone would be cool. Yeah, I'm gonna wonder what's gonna happen with that, because I think the mod was originally started before anybody called dibs on the A6, although I don't really know the history of DCS that far ago. Yeah. So I wonder if there's gonna be an issue of they'll be like, yeah, take the mod down. Or if maybe the mod will do rework and they'll do a different variant than Heatblur or something.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely. I gotta wonder if if it's a mod, if they're even gonna have like targeting pods and stuff like that.
Who knows?
Because I don't think they specified that it's a tram intruder either. Which we know the module will be a tram.
What does that mean?
That's fancy. The tram intruders are built off the A6E, so they have like a different INS. They have it's got like FLIR stuff. It's got laser spot tracker designators, targeting computers, moving target indicator stuff. It can do laser bombs. It can do like all the stuff you would have for like Gulf War era fighting. So it was like, and I think, yeah, then it's got slam capability too, and harms, and MAVs. Well, actually, no, I think it's the SWIPs that got harms and MAVs and stuff, but for the most part, it's got a bunch of upgrades.
But does it still retain the capability for the pilot and Wizzo to hold hands?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's important.
As lewd as that might be.
It's incredibly inappropriate.
Yeah. And we should never admit to hand-holding in the cockpit.
No hand-holding in the cockpit.
No hand-holding in the cockpit. That's not where we play safe. That's not safe. It's not good. That's lewd, wrong, and does not belong in the workplace.
Can we throw paper airplanes at each other in the cockpit though?
I mean, they wouldn't fly very far, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it's still fun.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do really well. I mean, the F-111 you can do that in too. You can do all kinds of goofing off in the cockpit in the F-111. But no, we don't have an F-111 module for DCS as much as I'd love to have it. Yeah. Yeah.
Prowler fun for the whole family. So you and 3 of your closest homies can all sit in the same metal tube and die horribly.
Yeah, and then that, or if, I had kids or something, you could bring them in the backseat, to the grocery store and all that.
I find it hilarious with the Prowler's like mission capability, or like what it's supposed to do, because last year when I did that F-16 refueling endurance stream, there was a Prowler flight fragged to fly around near my course. And so for like the 14 hours I'm flying my F-16, there is just a Prowler that's up there for about 6 to 10 hours, I think it was. And it's just there, and it's flying, and it's just flying in circles the whole time. Like, God, that sounds boring as shit. It was doing electronic warfare support.
Oh, you can like listen to phone calls with that thing too.
Really?
And suppress phone calls. Yeah, you can do all kinds of wacky electronic warfare shit with it.
Yeah, in
Prowlers at least.
In BMS, it does something with jamming to jam radars, so it can let you get in closer.
I wish we had like detailed electronic warfare. I would love to do that, but no, we don't have our beautiful EA-18Gs and DCS, nor do we have. I would even take a prowler. That would be cool. See, I would like to do that, Scar, but Shark with BT. But you see, I don't have VR yet. We'll fix that at some point. But
I'll have to point you to some things I saw, because apparently there's like refurbished Valve Index headsets that are like, you get the whole setup and it's like $200.
oh, that's even better than the deal from Meta for the Quest 2.
Yeah, to me that sounds a little sketchy, but you might be able to find like another similar deal.
Yeah, and Shark, as I was mentioning before about the A6 EA6 B, we could totally bring the kids with us whenever we go flying if we have one of those. Obviously, I still have custody of them, but you know, except a cool dad.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Well, on that note, Heatblur,
That's exactly what I was looking
please stop releasing updates on Sundays just before our stream. I swear to fucking God, please, please give us some more time to parse shit. But yeah, I did watch the video. It's cool. They went into radar stuff, a lot of technical radar stuff, theory. Operating the radar on this thing looks like a pain in the ass without having a whole like knob and switch panel. What do you think, Joe?
It looks like a pain in the ass. It will make you appreciate the Strike Eagle even more than the Tomcat makes me appreciate the Strike Eagle. It's going to be one of the airplanes of all time.
It will be a radar of all time.
Yeah. I like the F thing for me, the F4E, the only thing it's got going for itself for me is that it looks cool. Therefore, I am sort of kind of willing to put up with the suckiness of operating it.
But the
But
F4 looks cool.
Yeah. But it's like one of the things we discussed in like the in Discord before the stream is that like I would probably need to use my Airbus, like the Airbus FCU I'm ordering to operate the fucking radar in that thing with any efficiency at all, and use like bind that to do like half the stuff in the plane.
Yeah, my HOTAS base has 4 rotary knobs, a knob with only a couple positions, and then it's got like the antenna elevation knob and the manual range knob for the F-16. So I wonder how much I could do with all that.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Brain gone.
All right, next story then.
Yeah, sure. My head is so empty. I don't think it could be any more empty.
No thoughts, head empty.
0 thoughts.
Next up, IL-2 Battle of X devs released a devlog on their new Advanced Quick Mission Generator update. They plan to add new mission types from towing gliders to balloon defense, but they're also planning to add the map of Prokhorovka. I am almost certainly slaughtering that name. You can see it here on the map shown is how it's written. So sorry, not sorry. But they will be also integrating tank crew into it, allowing for more complex scenarios to be created quickly for tank battles. So before you only had like some preset, pretty simple scenarios for the tanks, but now hopefully you're going to be able to get more complicated ones that are fairly easy to set up. And if I can ever get tank crew to actually work on my end, I will be dragging Airshow into crewing a Sherman with me.
I don't have this game, at least not in its current version, so my brain empty. No thoughts.
Yeah, it's a shame their tank crew stuff is fairly well done. I only have like a couple minor complaints about tank crew, but that's just because I'm a Sherman fanatic, and there's like there's no commander traverse override, which is a big thing to have in the Sherman. Like, it's a big advantage to have the Sherman with that. And then there's also no commander gun sight, so that they can see where the gunner is aiming. But otherwise, like, they've got all the stuff modeled, and it's really cool.
If playing game, why tanks?
Because why not?
Fair enough.
I kind of wish that it had been like a separate. It probably should have been a separate game or something, because it's so niche that like nobody has tank crew.
Yeah. I would have defined it as a separate game, to be honest.
Yeah, it's so unknown because like you have to have Isle 2, Battle of Stalingrad, and then you have to have tank crew and. Also, speaking of World War II stuff, Combat Pilot had I think their first dev diary now. And it's the 1-year anniversary of when they started working on Combat Pilot at all. But they announced that they currently have an experimental prototype of the game. From the sounds of what they wrote, this is basically an early alpha of the game in a minimum playable state. Of note, they said that they are using Unreal Engine to power the game. And I'm not super knowledgeable about what every flight sim runs on, but it sounds like this is going to be one of the first flight sims of this level of fidelity to use a relatively standard game engine.
Yeah, almost everything is bespoke for like in-depth flight simulators.
Yeah, I think the only exception is like Star Citizen, but Star Citizen can kind of do whatever they want. They don't have to match perfectly realistic dynamics.
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out, because if they can get a pretty quote-unquote bog standard engine to run a flight sim well, I think that might open up the flight sim market to a lot more devs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know really where that would go, because like there's only so much stuff you can make from flight simulators, but then there's like you have to go up against like some titans if you're going for the civilian side rather than the military side. Like it's hard to compete with, I mean, with like, you know, giants like Microsoft and stuff, like head to head. Well, you know, when you're going for the same sales and the same customers, you'd have to do some pretty crazy shit to get in order to like outdo them.
See, this
So I
is
guess
why
the military side's a lot more open.
This is why I'm suggesting that someone should make an IL-2 Battle of X levels simulation game using a variety of World War II era aircraft, but then also add giant fucking zeppelins that you're taking off from and attacking.
Interesting. That sounds like for some fun gameplay, to be honest.
Yeah, like I feel like a alternate hit. Okay, maybe I don't really want to use alternate history because that has some bad connotations, but like a historical science fiction flight sim would be a pretty fun set of mechanics you could just come up with.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. Even if it's like an arcade style game, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you could go less fidelity.
I'd be even happy playing something like that if it was like Ace Combat, where like the planes have different attributes and handle differently, but they aren't like necessarily super realistic. And I think that would still create some very fun gameplay with that model.
Yeah, that's why I suggest like IL-2 levels, because I think IL-2 is about as high as you could go and still possibly get some decent mainstream popularity with it. Because IL-2, you're not having to like flip all the switches and whatnot. You just hit the button and your engine turns on. Crimson Skies, never heard of it.
Yeah. Wait, that does ring a bell. I can't place the specifics, but I've heard the name before. Yes.
Is it time to move on to the tubes that don't carry weapons?
Hey, some of these tubes have weapons. Thank you very much. They're not shaped like tubes. As much as I love the shape of tubes, tube is my favorite shape. Well, my second favorite shape is triangles, and number 3 is boxes.
Tubes. Sorry, I can't do the umlaut over the U, so just imagine it's there.
Yeah, it's all right. I like tubes. This tube is the Boeing 757 by Bluebird Simulations. They have showcased some of their sounds in a progress update. They're still shooting for a 2024 release. Whether that comes before or after the release of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, I don't know, and they don't know. But they're looking to get it out this year. It looks pretty solid. It's a plane made out of airplanes, and it's a tube with a lot of power, and it's cool. You know, it's a nice plane. You know, they're starting to kind of fall out of service finally now, as more A321neos and more A321LRs and soon XLRs come into service. You're going to see them really start to disappear from American skies, as American Airlines has already dropped all theirs, and we're about to see them kind of go away from the from Delta and United as well, as they start really receiving their new Airbus A321 variants, which the shape of the plane had a damn good run going from about the 80s. Well, I think late 80s, early 90s, all the way to mid 2020s. Like, that's a good run out of an airplane, and I'll miss them in real life, but just look at them forever in simulators.
Now, you said this was a plane made out of planes. How many planes make up this plane?
I don't know. At least one.
Ooh, okay. Okay. That's interesting.
It carries about 200 to 220 some odd people in it, in an economy configuration, if I remember right. There's also there's 2 variants. There's the 200 and 300. The 200 looks normal. The 300 looks stupid in the best way possible, where it looks like you just took like wings and put them on a pencil, but like a really long pencil, like a comically long pencil.
Longer than that. Longer than that Russian anti-submarine plane I sent you.
Longer. Hold on. Let me assist you with this.
Is it a tail strikinator?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. It is absolutely one, and it is. Unfortunately, there's only a little bit over 50 airframes left in the world for these, but. Yeah. Look at that. That absolute.
There's no way that's not a Photoshop.
No, that's real.
That's a Photoshop. Legit. That's a Photoshop.
You can see them in the real world. You go to Atlanta or even Detroit, you'll see plenty of them. They're real.
That's a Photoshop.
I'll prove to you it's not a Photoshop. I'll find you another one. Here you go. I've seen them in real life. I've been on them in real life. They used to fly into Orlando all the time from Atlanta.
There's no way.
They literally call it a flying pencil. It is a real ass airplane. There's an older photo of it from what do you call them?
Chat, is this real?
It's fucking real, Mika. It's absolutely real.
There's no way this is real.
It's fucking real, Mika.
I always wonder with things like this, how the heck do you take it off without tail striking? Just very carefully.
You give it a while. You do an earlier-ish rotate. Like, you rotate like slow and easy, pretty much.
But
you just be mindful not to tail strike it.
But why can't I just pull up to immediately like 11 degrees nose up?
Fucking here. Do you believe me now that that's a real airplane? Like, other people could, back me up that in chat that like that is a real airplane that exists.
I'm a little dubious, but I will accept for now.
Yes, it is cool. I like it because it's literally a pencil. I love the 300 variant, even if it's got like less performance, it's heavier. It just looks so goofy that it's lovable.
You want to talk about the next tube?
Yeah, next tube.
This tube looks a bit shorter.
Yeah, that tube's a bit shorter, a bit fatter. That tube is the new update to the AnyBuilds A300-600R, which adds in Pratt & Whitney engines, CPDLC capability, so you have data link now, and just a bunch of other things. Here, actually, let me tell you what they fixed. Give me a second, Mika.
What kind of weapons can you use the data link with?
That's a good question. I imagine probably those slam ERs or whatever, or the slams.
Okay.
IDC, modern radio panel with CPDLC and ACAR systems and sounds. Pratt & Whitney engine, passenger and freighter variants with unique systems and engine sounds. Navigraph en route moving map functionality, which we got on the Phoenix recently. The electronic flight bag, the tablet, can now calculate landing distance. They added speed mode pre-selects, better VNAV profile descent implementation. The FMC will not reset during changing panel states. Deceleration mode, flight management computer will not. The APU shutdown logic has been fixed. They fixed the throttle going into idle on a bumpy runway. They fixed some VNAV issues. They fixed the ADF going. They fixed the inhibiting auto throttle, manual throttle reversion during the takeoff phase. Hydraulic levels have been fixed. They fixed the lack of connection to the compressor rotation and temperature rate in crank mode. Navigation display drawing issues have been fixed. The 3 degree missing during an RNAV. The 3 degree glide slope missing during an RNAV approach in the flight plan has been fixed. They fixed speed constraints not being taken into account by the auto throttle on the computer. Temperatures going to -56 degrees in the cockpit has been fixed at the start of the descent. That's pretty smart. Thankfully, you're not dying from freezing anymore. The AI co-pilot, not changing transponder code, has been fixed. VRR mode has been fixed. ADF NDB has been fixed. Oil running out when maintenance is off is fixed. Approach page info not clearing if you've done RNAV has been fixed. They fixed the flex derate. They fixed the oil stuff. They fixed more oil stuff. They fixed the APU not starting. They fixed vertical speed not syncing of current volume descent rate. So calibration issues. They fixed. Why are they repeating stuff in their? Oh, I give up. I'm not gonna read the whole patch notes out. I was gonna try, but they started repeating stuff in their own patch notes, which makes no sense. But yeah, they fixed a lot of stuff.
That was a long list.
It's a way longer list than that. I only got about like a quarter of the way through.
I don't think we're supposed to read them word for word on here.
No, it's their changelog. You know, I think the public should be to know about their changes in the changelog. At least that's how I feel.
We got to give the summary, the short and sweet version.
They added stuff, and they fixed some other stuff.
No, like the highlights. You get the highlights. Come on.
The plane has new engines, CPDLC, and a new radio panel. If you wish to use it, they have now added some stuff to the electronic flight bag, and now the plane's actually flying as intended because it now follows speed constraints from the computer when given for procedures, instead of you always having to take over manually.
Okay. Next, I see this is a very small looking passenger plane.
Mika, this is not a tube, this is a Spitfire.
I mean, yeah, it's not a tube. And it's also not really that much aluminum. It's a lot of cloth and wood.
Yeah. It's Warbirds. There's a lot of them, Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is another one. This one is made out of Warbird. It's got guns. I don't know if they work or not. It's got a big engine and a propeller. What do you think, Mika?
I think that my experience with the Spitfire from IL-2 is everybody goes, this plane is impossible to take off and land, and I go, teehee, easier than MiG-3.
Ah. Interesting.
The Spitfire
So,
is
like,
just way too good, and I don't
so,
fly
like,
it because of that.
with the yeah, it's only like $8 if you get the tropical version on the off the Microsoft Store, and I think the regular version is 12. So it's a pretty good deal.
But can you dogfight other people in it?
In theory.
Like, I guess practice dogfights you could do.
Yeah.
Can I fly my can I fly the Spitfire on VATSIM and request airspace to dogfight someone in?
Yeah. As long as it's being reasonable, yes.
Okay.
If you want to do mock dogfights or aerobatics, if you ask, you want to do it in a reasonable area, yeah. Well, there's lots of spots where you can just do that without saying anything too.
As long as your VFR rules.
Yeah, pretty much.
Although
as long as that, or if you're in a practice area or something like that. As long as you're, and because it's a warbird, you're not pretending to be the military, so you're good to go.
Okay.
It's an old airplane.
Yeah, I assume that this thing can't do VFR, or no IFR.
It might struggle. There might be one or two navigation radios in there, but they're so old. I don't know if they work with modern VOR systems or NTBs. So might be possible, might not be. I don't have the airplane, so I don't know. So,
but you could have it, and that's the point.
There's an F4U coming out, and I think there's a pretty nice Hellcat. So I would rather pick those over the Spitfire myself.
Based.
But the yeah, that's just me.
Are they gonna have carrier landings? Nice.
I think they already have that actually, but only modern carriers, so that might be a little tough. I mean, not that you would really need anything to take off from a modern carrier in a World War II carrier airplane, because you just, the carriers are so long, you just take off.
You just Cat 5 it.
Yeah. You just easy. You can land easy and you can take off easy. I don't see why that would be an issue. You can just probably in the landing space itself you could take off.
Probably. It's quite a long deck on those things.
Mm-hmm. Might be worth trying at some point. Perhaps.
I can't wait to get things like the Corsair and DCS so we can do goofy shit with the carriers. I wonder if it's gonna break the carrier scripts by landing on them.
It's gonna be such a good stand-in for the Skyraider too, for like when we do the Desert Casanova's and stuff.
Well, aren't we getting a Skyraider?
I don't think so.
I thought we were getting a Skyraider in DCS with the toilet bomb.
We might, but I've never seen like any confirmation of that.
Who knows? Anywhere. It's a complicated landscape these days.
Yeah. The civilian stuff is just always really straightforward. It's just like, oh, this is our add-on. I hope you like it. And that's it. Like, there's no like guesswork really involved.
It's just DCS. There's a lot of companies that are working on stuff, and there's like no central way to figure it all out unless you want to go read tons of newsletters. Oh yeah, and it's like there's no centralized newsletter at all, like whatsoever.
And there's like so many companies that like start up and then just like die halfway through development too.
Yeah, sad.
Mm-hmm. Or add-ons that just stop being supported, and then DCS drops them as modules. So it's, not great.
All right, well,
if you will.
I see another tube.
That's a tube again?
This one is a tube, but it doesn't look like the other tubes.
That's correct. That would be the Strike Simulations F-86 Sabre, which is now released for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's an F-86. I don't really know anything about the accuracy of the flight model because I never flown an F-86 before. It looks kind of cool. I think it's like $20 or something like that. I don't know if the weapons work either, but at least you have them on the airplane to look at if you wish.
I was gonna say, I thought Microsoft didn't allow weapons on main aircraft, but third-party ones it's okay, right?
Yeah, I think this. If I remember right, if you buy it outside of the in-game Microsoft Flight Simulator Marketplace store thing, it's fine to have weapons. They don't care, but they don't sell them with the weapons on in the store itself.
I wonder if Microsoft is ever gonna do another combat flight sim.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, it'd be interesting if they just swung for the fences and decided to come out with a DCS competitor.
It would be a very interesting thing because they possibly got the basis for it, but they still have a lot of systems they'd have to model, like radar and most of the weapon physics.
Yeah, but they're Microsoft. They have an infinite budget.
Yeah, that's what would be exciting with it is they just kind of do whatever the frick they want, and they'd probably go and say like, oh yeah, we've updated Windows 11 to specifically run this so that you can run it on a potato and 3 wires.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it'll be kind of funny if they did that because they could just dick slap ED with a world map just included.
Oh yeah,
they could just give you the Microsoft Flight Simulator world map. They just give you the MSFS map and be like, all right, have fun.
I really want to know
full fidelity entire Earth.
I really want to know how the Earth map works in Microsoft Flight Sim, because you can just fly around the world like in a circle, right? And it's no problem.
Yeah. Yep.
So
no issues.
I wonder if they're using something like asset streaming to stream chunks of the world map to you as you approach them, kind of similar to like what Star Citizen talks about.
They have that. They have like live photo. They can stream photogrammetry to you. They can do. So it requires an internet connection, but they have offline bits you can download as well. You can cache it into your system as well, so that it loads faster in places you fly frequently. It's pretty cool. It's really a thing that like no other flight simulator developer could do because they're not big enough. They don't have the gigantic cloud backend that Microsoft does. But it would be funny to see them just like be like, oh, it seems we have an unsatisfied market where TCS has a bunch of drama going on, and the potential for a unstable marketplace and unstable like thing. What if we just decided to come in there and take it over? Just decided, all right, we'll do our thing, and we'll give you something better for the the price of a regular game. Just be like, we'll couple in, since they already have the Super Hornet licensing, we'll throw you a Super Hornet or just a regular Hornet, and we'll give you this map to start with. Have fun. Mission planning would be interesting though, because you would have to have like it would have to work like the online viewer thing, like that they have for like the maps, because like it would be so huge. Like the mission planning surface would be the entire world if they did this.
I want to be able to take up a B1 and fly halfway across the world, drop bombs, and fly back.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It would be so boring.
Theater logistics would be like viable with C5s and stuff, and C17s and A400Ms. Like you would have long range logistics. Like you would, like this would actually be pretty cool. Like you could like run a server where like you really do have like live logistics missions and stuff like that, and like you have like you do take off of the C5 and you carry however many thousands of pounds worth of stuff to wherever else. Like that's awesome. Like that would be a lot of fun. You can do the B1s, you can do the B-52s, Louisiana to Iraq and back.
I would love to fly more logistics stuff in DCS, but man, it just always feels pointless.
It sucks. Like it's not fun. Like it could be fun. The planes are extremely low-fi for logistics. They don't fly like planes should. Like once the module comes out for the C-130, I think it'll be a lot better, but I'd much rather have a C-17 or something where you can actually carry a lot rather than just 3 pallets.
Anime Guy, DCS is Digital Combat Sim. It is one of the biggest combat flight sims that there is, particularly for particularly focusing on somewhat ish modern to like Korean War era stuff. So you've got like F-16s, F-18s, F-15 Strike Eagles, all sorts of planes.
Yeah. And can you imagine if we had a nuts campaign where we took over Florida?
The war against Florida.
Yeah, the war to liberate Florida.
No. We have a campaign to raise California.
Oh my god! Can you imagine if you could mod in like nukes into this?
Oh
and
no!
you could do the Project Wingman nuking California thing.
Oh no! I don't need to be on more lists.
Or we do a campaign of taking California out of the United States. Do conquer Canada. We could we could do all kinds of things. You could take over Greenland. That's an option. You have Arctic flying, tropical flying. You could do like a second version of you could do like a Bay of Pigs 2. You could try to take over Cuba.
I want Canada versus US, and then everything's super confusing because both sides have like F-18s and other similar aircraft. So you have to IFF either by seeing the markings on the aircraft or by having AWACS tell you if it's a friendly or not.
Yeah.
And then I want the map for it to be around Michigan so that you have a good mix of water and land that you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. You have naval battles on the Great Lakes.
I don't know if you could fit a carrier in the Great Lakes. Maybe a Wawa.
Well, they build like destroyers and whatnot on the Great Lakes, don't they?
Yeah, destroyers you could fit, but like carriers you can't.
I think, Darwin VT could probably just swim out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to look into the lock sizes, but the locks. There's never been any military reason to expand the locks because we have an agreement with Canada that you can't put anything bigger than a destroyer on the Great Lakes. Also, submarines are not allowed.
Oh, that's boring.
Yeah.
I like submarines.
Do you like submarines that launch planes?
I like all submarines.
How about a submarine sandwich?
Yeah, those are cool too. I like Jersey Mike's.
Then,
Subway's. Oh, did you see the new bullshit out of Subway?
No. Or
Get
yeah,
this.
the $6 6 inches.
$6 6 inches. Yeah. What the fuck is that?
Inflation.
No, I'm not taking that fucking answer. Yeah, this is just like bullshit on like the highest degree. Let me see how much. Like at that point, you might as well just go anywhere else that has better quality than Subway, because I'll be fucking dead before I pay for a $6 for $6 for a 6-inch sandwich from Subway. Of how shitty all their ingredients are, and how just awful it is compared to everywhere else.
And on that note, this next plane is roughly submarine shaped.
Yeah. Latin VFR aims to release for Microsoft Flight Simulator, the Airbus A340 this month. Questionable quality, because it's Latin VFR. They have produced some real duds before. This might not be one. I think they released an A330 that did not go over very well, and they've been at one point they're like vehemently against people doing upgrade packages, which is what made their A321, their A320, their A319, 21, and 21 Neo viable. That's why I fly their A321 Neos, because it's upgraded by somebody else as a third party for free. So maybe they've learned their lessons and unfucked this thing, but I'm gonna wait till after the reviews before buying, and I think you guys should too.
There's never any shame in waiting for reviews before buying something.
With the exception, I think, of the not necessarily shame, but I think it was worthwhile to pre-order the Airbus FCA from Windwing, because you know the quality that Windwing will build stuff to, and the discount you were getting from it was well worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let me
I've been
I'm-
impressed with Wing. The only real issues I've heard is that sometimes when their first iteration of a design is out, it's got a little bit of design flaws, but they're willing to kind of acknowledge them and work around them.
It's like a, yeah. All right, hold on. On the sandwich thing, by the way, I just checked the prices at Jersey Mike's. Right.
Oh no.
So if we get an Italian sandwich from
He's
Jersey
on a
Mike's,
rant. Somebody help me.
or a 10-inch sandwich, like a 10 to 12-inch sandwich, is about $10, and you get like 3 times as much meat. You get more cheese. You get better bread and better ingredients. Why the fuck is Subway charging $6 for their shit ass 6-inch sandwiches?
You're gonna make me go to Firehouse Subs for lunch or dinner. I don't know. I haven't eaten
Yeah.
breakfast. My meals are all
I'll have to
fucked
see
today.
I'll have to see. Yeah, neither did I. I just grabbed a coffee as per usual. But I'll have to see if the Middle Eastern place I go to for lunch is open today or not.
Oh, I should look and see if we've got a couple of those around here. I should look and see which ones are
Dude.
where.
Did I tell you I think I've told you the insane deal I get there, right? So for lunch, you get any of their pita wraps, fries, and a drink for $7.99.
Dang.
And these pita wraps are like huge too. It's awesome. It's like the only thing I'll eat for the entire day.
And speaking of things that you'll eat for an entire day, the stupidest transition ever.
Mika, what the fuck?
I have to transition and move things along somehow, and if you're not giving me any good things to transition, then fuck that.
All right. Hello. Okay, for the 5 people that still play X-Plane, maybe there's 4 now. Who knows? Maybe one of them died off. But the X-Craft, congratulations to them. They're celebrating 10 years of producing airplanes for X-Plane. They have, for their 10th anniversary, released all of their previous generation aircraft, the Embraer ERJs and E-Jet series, for free. So, and they aren't as good as the new ones, obviously, but all those old generation planes, free of charge. If you got X-Plane, you like playing X-Plane, I'll silently judge you, but I won't judge you too hard for this one, considering the add-ons are free. Go scoop them up. They're doing giveaways now. They've announced that they're going to make the old ERJ, like the ERJ 135, 45, those airplanes will also get V2 variants, just like the Embraer 175s, 170, 75s, 90 foot 190, 195s. Fucking hate airplane names, man. The airliner thinks it's a bunch of stupid fucking letter numbers, but but it's, yeah, congratulations to them. 10 years is a long time for any flight simulation company to stay alive, let alone in a desert as dry as X-Plane. Hopefully they come to their senses and switch to the Microsoft side sometime soon. I'd love to have their planes, because the current offerings for Embraer's jets in Microsoft Flight Simulator is awful, like just dreadful. There's a company that basically scammed people out of their money by taking pre-orders on what they essentially presented as a complete add-on, but most definitely wasn't. It was barely in an alpha playable state. Flight Sim Studios, yeah, that wasn't very cool. Don't do that. That's wrong and bad, and you should feel bad for doing it. But, you know, people still gave money anyway, and then got Stockholm Syndrome into defending them on social media when they got called out on their shit. But congratulations, X-Crafts. You make some great Embraers, and they have a thing in one of the business jets that they did that's based off the Embraer 135, where if you hit a certain secret button, it turns the plane into a carrot.
What?
Yes.
What?
It turns the plane into a carrot.
Like, just a carrot, or does it like turn it orange?
Yes. Hold on, give me a second. No, it turns the plane literally into a carrot.
Oh no.
Give me a second here.
Are you able to see that in VATSIM?
I don't know.
Lame.
There you go. Mika,
Hi, Mika des.
send. I shit you not.
What is this, an image for ants?
Much like, oh fuck you! Fine, I'll go find a bigger one. Asshole.
It's got like 12 pixel resolution here.
best you're getting is that because is that. There you go. That's a bigger one.
That is certainly a carrot.
Yeah, it much like the funniest thing in the world, where the guy becomes a pickle. Funniest shit I've ever heard in my life, and then says he's Pickle Rick. This plane turns into a carrot.
Is it a carrot craft?
Caution. Caution.
You should pass that on to them. That's really good.
Anime guy, thank you for the follow.
I hope their new planes can turn into carrots, especially if they do like a really high fidelity carrot model for the new one. That'd be really cool.
It's got to be like the anime equivalent of the cabbage gag, where in an anime, cabbages are either just a green circle or they are the most detailed thing ever animated.
Carrots. Yes. There was I'm not aware of the cabbage gag. I will now be on the lookout for it. But they I mean, it's literally like, I gotta show this to the boss lady, because it's literally a carrot plane. Like, I mean,
oh yeah, the horse is gonna be interested in that, huh?
Yeah, we gotta. That's like perfect stream content, because it's literally a carrot.
Yep.
Although we would have to worry about her eating it. You know, that would be a problem.
I don't think eating your plane while you're in it is a good idea.
Yeah, but you know, horses, carrots, you know, that might not work out so well.
Although, you know, it's such a big carrot, it would take you all day to eat it, just like the transition
least,
I hinted at. So that wasn't that bad of a transition, huh?
No, it really was. Come to think of it. We made it work. We made it work. I hope you have a good one now.
Nope, just this one I've been curious about the entire episode, because is that an air brake on the back?
Yes.
That is an interesting placement for an air brake on a civilian plane.
It is a giant clamshell air brake, because the plane doesn't have thrust reversers.
Oh,
and
geez.
you can still take off and land in super short distances. So it's got that air brake that you can open in flight, and then up top they have this. They have the whole wing opens up like the regular spoilers. It is absurd.
And it's got four engines, but it doesn't look all that
It's
big.
got 4 engines, but it's small, but has 4 engines. Yeah. So Kita has this, but they just released the V2 version from Just Flight. It's the EAE 146. Soon they're releasing the modern version, which is the Avro RJs. It's a cool airplane. The V2, it's got a new flight management computer based off the real thing, and it's a great add-on. Many people like it. It's one of the most popular ones out there, and for like a regional jet, it's pretty damn cool. Mika, if you've flown on the CRJs, this is about the same size. In seeds of like...
I don't think I've ever flown on anything but a 737 and the Airbus equivalent.
You see those like little airplanes that kind of look like pencils?
I've like never really flown on those.
Small. Oh, have you seen like about how big they are?
Yeah.
Okay, this is about that size. So they have seat versions, which I think are 70, 85, and 100 seat versions, I want to say. But you get all 3 in this add-on, if I remember right. So that's pretty cool. It's got like all the creature comforts, like auto throttle and whatnot. This version's got like, instead of glass, it's got, you know, more analog stuff. But it's generally a cool jet. It can take off and land from short runways. It can take off and land from London City Airport. It's just nifty and fun and cool.
Got a lot of engine to passenger ratio.
Oh yeah. It just looks like a fun plane to fly, doesn't it? It's like a little baby like C5 in terms of shape too.
I don't know. It's got 4 engines. That's about 3 more than I can handle.
I think you've got this, Mika.
Any more than 1 engine and my head starts spinning.
Wait, you flew a 2-engine plane with me.
Which plane?
Your Microsoft Flight Simulator. We flew that Cessna Citation from Boston, Miami.
And you saw how that worked out, right? Not very well.
Good, yeah.
We taxied the wrong way.
well, that controller was a dickhead, and then we made fun of him for living in absolute squalor because he was live. He had a live cam on Twitch. So
Cardboard
it's not
boxes in
my
the background.
fault.
Oh god.
It's not my fault that he like. I mean, you saw it. He was an absolute squalor. Like, how are you talking shit on Vassett when you're living like that? Like, that's about the typical thing I'd expect if you're somebody who gets ass mad on a fucking flight simulator game. Like, and it's not even DCS where you can get mad for somebody killing you. It's like we turned the wrong way because you gave us unclear instructions. And like he's acting all buddy with his other pilot, but he's a dick to us. You know, like shut up, flesh tuber.
Silence, flesh tuber.
Yeah, like fucking flesh beings. Like I'm made of pixels, and that's great. That makes us superior to those humans. But yeah, like you don't talk shit if you're living in an absolute pigsty of a place.
Well,
Like
speaking of
clean your
living in
fucking
squalor,
room, buddy. Go on. Oh. Okay.
I don't know. It looks like
Just wait
a
again.
crappy light plane.
updates. They have released a development update on the Piper Tomahawk, saying it's in the final stretch. Goofy looking little airplane trainer. If you're in it, you get, because it's a bubble canopy with no air conditioning or anything, you get absolutely cooked inside that thing. It's just a greenhouse basically.
Yeah, so you're living in squalor when you're flying this thing.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. It is a anemic little airplane. It's very, very light. Has like no carrying capacity for anything. It's designed as a trainer that goes up into the pattern for 30 minutes to an hour at most, comes back down, lands, and switches students. It is not. It wouldn't be a plane that I would fly. I've always been more of a Cessna guy myself in the real world back when I flew. But you know, if that's your thing, have at it. I like that they threw a Blue Angels paint scheme on this absolute shit heap too.
Do you think that the Blue Angels could fly this and do their whole routine with it?
Absolutely not. They fall out of the sky. It would not go well as soon as they turned upside down. Well, they have a fuel pump, but I don't think it's strong enough to pump upside down. So, well, actually, fuel tanks are in the wings below where the engine is. So, maybe. Well, okay. Do you think it could, even if it's a fuel pump, if they have a fuel pump to pump it up to the engine, surely if you flip the plane upside down, you can still gravity feed, right?
Oh, it depends on where the engine or the tank feeds are.
Yeah, well, they're all below the engine itself. Since it's a low wing airplane, the engine's mounted to the nose. It's a flat four. So
yeah, but if you're feeding from the bottom of the tank and you flip upside down and there's now air there, you're not pumping into the...
Right.
Unless you have intake at the top for some reason as well, but why would you have both?
Yeah. Disappointing. Although I don't think it's really got enough power to do the loops and shit too, so...
Is it aerobatic rated?
Absolutely not.
Sag. You know what else is not aerobatic
it'll
rated?
Do the, our next story.
Yeah. Continuing our stories on Voyager 1, NASA discovered why the spacecraft has been sending garbled messages for the past few months, and they have a potential workaround. The cause of the problem is believed to be due to a corruption of the flight data subsystem's memory, and they believe they can resolve the issue with a workaround to keep the Voyager going for a bit longer. This
Wow.
probe is almost as old as the F-16 is.
Wow. That means it's almost as old as Airshow.
Wow.
Yeah, impressive.
And then our last story. This is why we specify that if it has ever flown, we might cover it. So these things will have flown, even though they're on the ground. But NASA has moved forward with its selection for the Artemis lunar rovers, They've selected 3 teams to continue work on their designs, and those teams are Intuitive Machines, Lunar Outpost, and Venturi Astrolab. The lunar terrain vehicle will be used to transport astronauts and cargo on the surface of the moon, with also, hopefully, NASA's currently planning an autonomous or remote drive capability for it.
Nifty. I like how they call it Venturi Astrolab when there's no Venturi in space.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that as I read that, and it's like, yeah, there's no Venturi effect in vacuum, huh?
Yeah. That would be cool if Lockheed Martin did sponsor us.
Yep, that's
Think
what,
about what we would do with all that money. All
that's
we have
what
to
the
do is
LM
show the
command is for.
F-16 a little bit. Like, we just got to talk about how great the F-16 is, and that's easy for you to do.
My like far out, no way it's ever gonna happen dream is to get Lockheed Martin to sponsor me to the point that they would invite me to one of their facilities to try out an F-16 simulator and compare it to the flight sims that we play.
Ah, that would be cool.
I mean, I figure they probably wouldn't be able to let me use a lot of the weapon systems, but I'd at least just fly it and see what it's like.
Mm-hmm. That sounds fun.
And that's all I got for this week.
Yeah, I don't have any more stories. Do the audience redeem any questions today?
I didn't turn the thing on, so they couldn't.
Oh.
Joke's on them.
Ow.
Well, is it time to go terrorize the shark?
Yeah, it's the shark. There's yeah, because the shark's live. I think we should pick her. Because I only would have picked anyone else if the shark wasn't live. So I can't believe she said no to coming on here today, even though she had a stream. So awful.
She did. It would have been a funny bit to just have her to just like poke her on our stream when we're up for the thing she wanted to cover, and have her just pop in for like 5 minutes to rant about something and then leave.
Yeah. The little POV tail strike.
Ooh, I just got an idea.
Too cool for Twitch.
What if 1 week we do news stories, but instead of us delivering the news stories, we just get like 8 or 9 people to each present their own news story.
Oh my god, that would be fun.
And we just rapid fire chain them.
I was always wanted to do a version of like Shark Tank, but with like VTubers pitching ideas. There was like one guy that came to approach a friend of mine asking to be my friend's manager and ask for a 20% cut of their earnings. And it was like, you know, that would be really funny if we had a version of Shark Tank and that person tried to pitch that like to their on like a Shark Tank style thing, like without breaking character and trying to not have the VTuber talents laugh their asses off at that bad of a deal.
I'd take that deal if they're actually a good manager, but also 20% of my earnings is fucking nothing.
Yeah, it was 20% of all earnings, and they would do the things that the person already did and doesn't take very much time for them to do. Along with allegedly taking 20% of all earnings to do basically nothing. It was like schedules and things like that.
Yeah, schedules would be like, I need like a social media manager or someone.
Oh yeah, they would do no of the promotion work, none of that either.
Honestly, I need more of like an editor that I could just toss clips and like stream timestamps at and go, can you edit this into something funny? You can have all my money, please.
Yeah. It was and it was definitely something to see because it was like such a bad pitch too. Like I really wish we had like we need like to do. What if we literally took Sharklet and we did like a literal version of Shark Tank? That's an idea.
We can flesh that out.
Yeah, we could totally make that work. Maybe get Airshow. He would be a really good like Shark Tank person, I think.
I
Like,
still
he'd be really good at ripping apart somebody's sales pitch, I think.
I still like the idea, although this idea is a lot of work too, of the like guests in reasonably priced airplanes.
Oh yeah. That would be fun.
We gotta
If we can make that work, yeah.
yeah, we gotta find it. It's a little hard because like not everybody has the same planes, and I know
Yeah.
everyone has the weaponless P-51, which would be great for this thing, but I
If it had
doubt we
guns,
can
yeah.
get people. Well, no, it doesn't necessarily have to be guns. We could just do like an air race course.
Oh right, yeah. Kind of like yeah. I don't think we have that in DCS, unfortunately, though. I know Microsoft Flight Simulator has it.
I mean, we could make one. Like,
Yeah.
there's that
Do they
Top
have-
Gun course, so you could
can
say, hey, you have to fly through this Top Gun course.
Can you place air race pylons out?
Oh,
If you could, then you're kind of set. You could just make your own course.
I'm sure you could add something that looks like an air race pylon.
Yeah. Probably. A tree.
Yep. Or like radio antennas, or those really tall towers for the SA-10 search radar.
Oh yeah.
We could cook on this idea.
I also really want to do that Shark Tank thing. I'm not sure if we could do like them pitching hypothetical companies or what they'd be pitching to us, but I think we could have a really good version of that.
Yeah, let's workshop that after we throw our audience forcibly at Sharklet.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me. Oh wait, do any of us have stubs to both? Because, I don't. No.
I do.
Okay. Make raid message, please, Mr. Lamika.
There you go. Use whatever wigglies you got if you got them.
Yep.
Do you have any announcements before we go?
No.
I don't either.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, bye-bye.
Goodbye.